A spirit passed before me, by George Gordon Byron. A spirit passed before me, I beheld the face of immortality unveiled. Deep sleep came down on every eye save mine, and there it stood, all formless but divine. Along my bones the creeping flesh did quake, as my damp hair stiffened, thus it spake. Is man more just than God? Is man more pure than he who deems even Ceres insecure? Creatures of clay, vain dwellers in the dust, the moth survives you, and are you more just? Things of a day, you wither of a night, heedless and blind of wisdom's wasted light. Adieu, adieu, my native shore, by George Gordon Byron. Adieu, adieu, my native shore, fades out the waters blue. The night winds sigh, the breakers roar, and shrieks a wild sea mew. Yon sun that sets upon the sea we follow in his flight. Farewell awhile to him, and we, my native land, good night. A few short hours, and he will rise to give a more birth, and I shall hail the main and skies, but not my mother earth. Deserted is my own good hall, its hearth is desolate. Wild weeds are gathering on the wall, my dog howls at the gate. Adrian's address to his soul when dying, by George Gordon Byron. Ah, gentle, fleeting, wavering sprite, friend and associate of his clay, to what unknown region born wilt thou no wing thy distant flight? No more of wonted humour gay, but palate cheerless and forlorn. All is vanity, save the preacher, by George Gordon Byron. Fame, wisdom, love, and power were mine, and health and youth possessed me. The goblets flushed for my wine, and lovely forms caressed me. I sunk my heart in beauty's eyes, and felt my soul grew tender. All earth can give, or mortal prize, was mine of regal splendour. I strive to number what days remembrance can discover, which all that life or earth displays would lure me to live over. There rose no day, there rode no hour of pleasure unembittered, and not a trapping decked my power, that galt not while it glittered. The serpent of the field, by art and spell, is one from harming, and that which coils around the heart, a hoo-ha of charming. It will not list to wisdom's law, nor music's voice can lure it, but where it stings for evermore the soul that must endure it. And wilt thou weep when I am low? By George Gordon Byron. And wilt thou weep when I am low? Sweet lady, speak those words again, yet if I grieve thee, say not so. I will not give that bosom pain. My heart is sad, my hopes are gone, the blood runs coldly through my breast. When I perish though alone, will sigh above my place of rest. And yet methinks a gleam of peace doth through my cloud of anger shine, and for a while my sorrows cease, to know thy heart hath felt for mine. Our Lady, blessed be that tear, that falls with one who cannot weep. Such precious drops that thou bleed here, to those whose eyes no tear may steep. Sweet lady, once my heart was warm, with thy feelings soft as wine. Beauty's self hath ceased to charm, a wretched creature to repine. Yet wilt thou weep when I am low? Sweet lady, speak those words again. Yet if I grieve thee, say not so. I will not give that bosom pain. Away, away, ye notes of woe, by George Gordon Byron. Away, away, ye notes of woe. Be silent, thou one soothing star. I must flee from hence, for oh, I dare not trust those sounds again. To me they speak of brighter days, but lull the chords, for now, alas, I must not think, I may not gaze on what I am or on what I was. The voice that made those sounds most sweet is hushed, all their charms are fled, and our softest notes repeated dirge, an anthem o'er the dead. Yes, further, yes, they breathe free, they love a dust. Since dust for art, that all that once was harmony, is worse than discord to my heart. 'Tis silent all, on my ear the well-remembered echoes thrill. I hear a voice I would not hear, a voice that now might well be still. Yet of my doubting soul 'twill shake, even slumber owns gentle tone, the consciousness will vainly wake to listen, though the dream be flown. Sweet fears are waking as in sleep, what but now a lovely dream. I starboard trembled over the beam, and turned from earth its tender beam. But he who through life's dreary way must pass, when heaven's veiled in wrath, will long lament the vanished ray that scattered gladness o'er his path. Bright be the place of thy soul, by George Gordon Byron. Bright the place of thy soul, no lovelier spirit than the wine, aburst from its mortal control, in the orbs of the blessed to shine. On earth a word all but divine, as thy soul shall immortally be. No soul may cease to repine when we know what the goddess will we. Light be the turf of thy tomb, may its verdure like emeralds be. There should be the shadow of gloom, and all that reminds us of we. Young flowers in an evergreen tree may spring from the spot of our rest. but nor suppress, nor you let us see. Why should we mourn for the blessed? Farewell, if ever fondest prayer, by George Gordon Byron. Farewell, if ever fondest prayer, for ours real availed on high. Mine will not all be lost in air, and waft thy name beyond the sky. Though vain to speak, to weep, to sigh, more than tears of blood can tell, when wrung from guilt's expiring eye, I end with word, farewell, farewell. These lips are mute, these eyes are dry, and my breast and in my brain awake the pangs which pass not by, before the ne'er shall sleep again. My soul nor deigns nor dares complain, for grief and passion will rebel. I only know we laughed in vain, I only feel, farewell, farewell. Fill the goblet again, by George Gordon Byron. Fill the goblet again, for I never before felt the glow which now glens my heart to its core. Let us drink, who would not, since through lies varied round, in the goblet alone a reception is found. I've tried in its turn all what life can supply. I've basked in the beam of a dark rolling eye. I've loved, who has not? And what heart can declare that pleasure existed if the passion was rare? The days of my youth and the hearts in its spring, and dreams that affection can never take wing. I had friends, who has not? But what tongue will avow with friends rosy wine as of faithfulness woe? The heart of a mistress some boy may estrange. Friendship shifts with sunbeam, who never canst change. Accursed old, who does not? But on earth what appears, whose virtues are like wine shall increase with its years. Yet if blessed to the utmost, what love can bestow, shall rival bow down to our idol below. We are jealous, who is not? Who has no such alloy? The more that enjoy we, the more we enjoy. In the season of youth and its vanities past, forever we fly to the goblet at last. We find, do we not, in the flow of a soul, that truth, as of yore, is confined to the bowl. The box of Pandora was opened on earth, and misery's triumph commenced over mirth. Hope was left, was she not? At the goblet we kiss, and care not for hope, who are certain of bliss. Long life to the grape, when summer has flown, the age of our nectar shall gladden our own. We must die, who shall not? Our sins be forgiven, and heap shall never be idle in heaven. Francisca, George Gordon Byron. Francisca walks in the shadow of night, but is not to gaze on the heavenly light. She sits in a garden bower, it is not for the sake of its blowing flower. She listens, and not for the nightingale, for her ear expects a softer tale. A wind's step through foliage thick, and the cheek grows pale, and the heart beats quick. A whisper's a voice through rustling leaves, a moment more and we shall meet. 'Tis past, a lover's at the feet. From the last hill that looks on the once holy dome, by George Gordon Byron. From the last hill that looks on the once holy dome, I beheld we, O Sion, and rendered to Rome. 'Twas the last sun went down, and the flames of thy fall flashed back on the last glance I gave to thy wall. I looked for thy temple, I looked for my home, and forgot for a moment my bondage to come. We held but the death fire that fed in thy fane, and the fast-fettered hands that made vengeance in vain. On many an eve, high spot whence I gazed, and reflected the last beam of day as it blazed. And I stood in the height and beheld the decline, the race from the mountain that shone in thy shrine. And now on that mountain I stood on that day, and remarked not the twilight be melting away. I would that the lightning had glared in its stead, and thunderbolt burst on the conqueror's head. But the gods of patience shall never profane the shrine which Jehovah disdained not to reign, and scattered and scorned as the people may be, our worship, O Father, is only for we. I saw we weep, by George Gordon Byron. I saw we weep, the big bright tear came over that eye of blue, and then methought it did appear, violet dropping dew. I saw we smile, the sapphire's blaze beside the cheeks to shine. It could not match the living rays that filled with glance of wine. As clouds from yonder sun receive the deep and mellow dye, which scarce the shade of coming eve can banish from the sky. For smiles unto the moodiest mind their own pure joy impart, the sunshine leaves a glow behind that lightens our heart. I speak not, I trace not, I breathe not my name, but George Gordon Byron. I speak not, I trace not, I breathe not my name. There is grief in the sound, there is guilt in the fame. A tear that now burns on my cheek may impart the deep thoughts that dwell in the silence of heart. To breathe for passion, to long for peace, where was ours? Can the joy of their bitterness cease? We repent, we abjure, we will break from our chain. We will part, we will fly to, united again. Our thine be the gladness, and mine be the guilt. Forgive me, adored one, forsake for wilt. The heart which is wine shall expire undebased, a man shall not break it, whatever amazed. And stern to the haughty, but humble to we, the soul in its bitterest blackness shall be. Our days seem as swift and our moments more sweet, the thee at my side, and the world's at our feet. One sigh of I saw, one look of thy love, shall turn me or fix, shall ward or reprove. The heartless may wonder at all I resign, thy lips shall reply, not to them, but to mine. I would I were a careless child, by George Gordon Byron. I would I were a careless child, still dwelling in my Highland cave, or roaming through the dusky wild, or bounding over dark blue wave. The cumbrous pomp of Saxon pride accords not with the freeborn soul, which loves the mountain's craggy side and seeks the rocks where billows roll. Fortune, take back these cultured lands, take back this name of splendid sound. I hate the touch of servile hands, I hate the slaves that cringe around. Place me among the rocks I love, which is sound to ocean's wildest roar. I ask but whiz again to rove through scenes my youth have known before. Few are my years, and yet I feel the world was not designed for me. And why do darkening shades conceal the hour when men must cease to be? Once I behold a splendid dream, a visionary scene of bliss, truth. Afforded the hated beam, awake me to a world like this. I loved, but those I loved are gone. Had friends, my early friends are fled. How cheerless feels the heart alone, and its former hopes are dead. For gay companions of bold is pale awhile the sense of ill, for pleasure stirs the maddening soul, the heart is lonely still. How dull to hear the voice of woes, whom rank or chance, whom wealth or power have made, whatever friends nor foes, associates of a festive hour. Give me again a faithful few, and years and feelings still the same. I will fly the midnight crew, the boisterous joy is but a name. And woman, lovely woman, for my hope, my comfort, and my all. How cold must be my bosom now, and in thy smiles begin to pall. Thou desire would resign this busy scene of splendid woe, like a calm contentment mine, which virtue knows or seems to know. Fain would I fly the haunts of men, I seek to shun, not hate mankind. A breast requires the sullen glen, whose gloom may suit a darkened mind. Would to me the wings were given, which bear the turtle to her nest, and would I cleave the world of heaven, to flee away and be at rest. If sometimes in the haunts of men, George Gordon Byron. If sometimes in the haunts of men thine image from a breast may fade, my lonely hour presents again the semblance of thy gentle shade. My wit sad and silent hour, as much we can still restore, and saw unobserved my poor, the plain she dare not speak before. Oh, pardon that in crowds while I waste, when for the outer we, and self-condemned, appear to smile, unfaithful to the memory. But e'en that memory less dear, that when I seem not to repine, I would not foolish should overhear one sigh which should be holy wine. If not the goblet pass unquaffed, it is not drained to banish care. The cup must hold a deadlier draught that brings relief for despair. And could oblivion set my soul from all her troubled visions free, I'd wish to have the sweetest bowl that drowned a single thought free. Were vanished from my mind, where could my vacant bosom turn? And who could then remain behind to honor thine abandoned it's my soul's pride, but last a duty to fulfill. A word forget beside has made what I remembered still. Well I know it's such had been, but didn't care for him, and our mourn shall quiet this mortal scene, when none regarded him but woe. And I feel in that was given a blessing ever meant for me. A word to like a dream of heaven, fervently loved and married we. If that high world, by George Gordon Byron. If that high world, which lies beyond our own, surviving love and years, if there the cherished heart be found, we are the same except for tears. A welcome those untrodden spheres, how sweet this very hour to die, to soar from earth and find all fears lost in the light, eternity. It must be so, 'tis not for self, and we so tremble on the brink, and striving to o'erleap the gulf that clinch to being's shivering link. On with future let us think, to hold each heart the heart that shares, when the immortal waters drink, and soul and soul grow deathless theirs. In the Valley of the Waters, by George Gordon Byron. In the valley of the waters we wept all the day, the host of a stranger made Salamis pray, our heads on our bosoms all droppingly lay, our hearts were so full of land far away. The song we demanded in vain, it lay still in our souls as the wind that died on the hill. It called for the harp, that our blood they should spill, our right hand should teach them one tone of our skill. All stringlessly hung on a willow set tree, as dead as the dead leaf whose mute harps must be. Our hands may be fettered, our tears still are free, for God in our glory and Sion are we. In the welling of waters he wept our day, George Gordon Byron. When some proud son of man returns to earth, unknown to glory but upheld by birth, the sculptor's art exhausts the pomp of woe, and storied urns record the rest below. And all is done upon the tomb by scene, out of what he was and what he should have been. And the poor dog, and life a firmest friend, the first to welcome, foremost to defend, whose honest heart is still his master's own, labours, fights, lives, breathes for him alone, unhonored falls, unnoticed all his worth, denied in heaven the soul he held on earth, while man, vain insect, hopes to be forgiven, and claimed himself a sole exclusive heaven. O man, the feeble tenant of an hour, debased by slavery or corrupt by power, and knows we well must quiet with disgust, degraded mass of animated dust. The lover's lust, friendship on a cheat, with smiles hypocrisy the world's deceit. By nature while ennobled, but by name, each kindred brood might bid thee blush for shame. Ye who perchance without the simple urn pass on, and honest none who wish to mourn, mark a friend's remains the stones arise, and there knew but one, and here he lies. It is the hour, George Gordon Byron. It is the hour from the boughs the nightingale's high note is heard. It is the hour when lovers' vows seem sweeter than the whispered word, and gentle winds and waters near make music to the lonely ear. Each flow of the dews have lightly wet, in the sky the stars are met, on a wave a deeper blue, of leaf a browner hue, and in the heaven that clear obscures so softly dark and darkly pure, and follows the decline of day, as twilight melts when the moon away. John Keats, by George Gordon Byron. Who killed John Keats? I says the quarterly, so savage and heartily, was one of my feats. Who shot the arrow, the poor priest Milman, so ready to kill man, or so for our bearer? Lines to a Lady Weeping, by George Gordon Byron. Weep, daughter of royal line, sighs disgrace a realm's decay. Happy if each tear of thine could wash a father's fault away. Weep, for where tears are virtuous tears, auspicious to we suffering eyes, be each drop in future years repaid thee with people's smiles. Lines written beneath a picture, by George Gordon Byron. The object of defeated care, when of love and thee bereft, reconcile me with despair, when image and any tears are left. Sad with sore time can cope, and this feel can never be true, for by the death blow of my hope my memory immortal grew. Lines written beneath an elm in the churchyard of Harrow on the hill, George Gordon Byron. Spot of my youth, soil branches sigh, sweep by the breeze that fans the cloudless sky. When now alone I muse, who oft have trod, foes are laughed by softened word and sod. The foes who scattered far, perchance deplore like me, there be scenes they knew before. As I trace again the winding hill, thine eyes admire, my heart adores thee still. Or dropping elm beneath whose boughs I lay, in frequent muse the twilight hours away, where, as I once were wont, my limbs recline, of the thoughts which when were mine. How do thy branches, moaning to the blast, invite the bosom to recall the past, and seem to whisper as they gently swell, take, while thou canst, a lingering last farewell. And fate should chill at length his fevered breast, and calm its cares and passions into rest. Oft have I thought, would soothe my dying hour, if aught may soften life resigns her power. I know some humbler graves, some narrow cell would hide my bosom, where I love to dwell. With his fond dream methinks 'twas sweet to die, and he had lingered, in my heart might lie. Here might I sleep, all my hopes arose, scenes of my youth, and couch of my repose. I ever stretched beneath his mantling shade, pressed by the turf where once my childhood played. Wrapped by the soil that waits the spot I loved, mixed with the earth on which my footsteps moved, blessed by the hands that charmed my youthful ear, mourned by the few my soul acknowledged here. Deplored by woes in early days alight, and unremembered with word beside. Lines written in an album at Malta, by George Gordon Byron. So the cold sepulchre stone some name rests the passer-by, was, and of use this page alone, by mine attract the pensive eye. And then by the weird nameless read, perchance in some succeeding year, reflect on me as on the dead, and think my heart is buried here. Love's Last Adieu, George Gordon Byron. Roses of love glad the garden of life, for nurtured mid wets, dropping pestilent dew, till time gropes the leaves with unmerciful knife, or prunes them forever in love's last adieu. In vain, determined, we soothe a sad heart, vain do we vow for an age to be true, the change of an hour may command us to part, or death disunite us in love's last adieu. Still hope, breathing peace, with grief's fallen breast, will whisper, our meeting we yet may renew. With a stream of deceit, half our sorrows repressed, or taste the poison of love's last adieu. Mark on yon pair in the sunshine of youth, love to drown the childless flowers as they grew. Flourish awhile, the season of truth, till chilled the winter of love's last adieu. Sweet lady, ever though the tears steal its way down a cheek which outrivals the bosom in hue, yet why do I ask, to distraction a prey, a reason is perished, love's last adieu? Oh, who is yon misanthrope shunning mankind, whose cities to caves of forest he flew, where raving he houses complain to the wind, the mountains narrate love's last adieu? No hate rules the heart which in love's eyes chains, once passion's tumultuous blandishments new. Despair now inflames the dark tide of his veins, he ponders in frenzy on love's last adieu. How he envies the wretch, with soul wrapped in steel, his pleasures are scarce, yet his troubles are few. For love's the pang what he never can feel, and reads not the anguish of love's last adieu. Youth flies, life decays, even hope is overcast. No more with love's former devotion we sue. He spreads his young wing, he retires with blast, shroud of affections, love's last adieu. In this life of probation for rapture divine, he still declares with some penances due. From him who has worshipped love's gentle shrine, the atonement is ample at love's last adieu. Who kneels to the god in his alpha of light, must method suppressed alternately strew. His myrtle an emblem of purest delight, suppress the garland of love's last adieu. My Epitaph, by George Gordon Byron. Youth, nature, and relenting Jove, to keep my lamp and strongly strove. Bromelia was bestowed, a beetle free and blew it out. My soul is dark, by George Gordon Byron. My soul is dark, how quickly string the harp I yet can brook to hear, and let the gentle fingers fling its melting murmurs o'er mine ear. If in this heart a hope be dear, that sound shall charm it forth again. If in these eyes there lurk a tear, to flow and she's to burn my brain. And bid the strain be wild and deep, nor let thy notes of joy be first. I tell thee, minstrel, I must weep, or else this heavy heart will burst. What hath been by sorrow nursed, ached in sleepless silence long, now 'tis doomed to know the worst, and break at once, or yield to song. Napoleon's Farewell, by George Gordon Byron. Farewell to the land of gloom of my glory, arose and overshadowed the earth with her name. She abandons me now, but the page of her story, the brightest or blackest, is filled with my fame. And thwart of the world, which vanquished me alone, and me fear of conquest allured me too far. I have coped with the nations which dread me was lonely, the last single captive to millions in war. Farewell to thee, France, that Iron crowned me, I had thee the gemmed wonder of earth. Where weakness decreased, I should leave as I found thee, decayed in the glory and sunk on my worth. Ah, for veteran hearts that wasted in strife of the storm, and the battles were won when the eagle, whose gaze in that moment was lasted, has the sword of ice fixed on victory's sun. Farewell to thee, France, when liberty rails once more in thy regions, remember when, violates the groves and the depths of the valleys, the whip of the tears have enfolded, yet am above the hosts that surround us, and yet may the heart leap awaked from the voice, where links which must break in the chain that has bound us, and turn we and call on the chief of our choice. Oh, say not, sweet Anne, George Gordon Byron. Oh, say not, sweet Anne, that the fates have decreed the heart which adores you should wish to dissever. Such fate were to me most unkind once indeed, bear me from love and from beauty forever. Your thrones, lovely girl, are the fates which only could bid me from fond admiration refrain. A wease every hope, every wish were overthrown, and smiles should restore me to rapture again. As the Eve and the oak and the forest entwined, rage of a tempest united must weather, my love and my life, though by nature designed to flourish alike or to perish together. When say not, sweet Anne, what the fates have decreed, your lover should bid you a lasting adieu. The fate can ordain that its bosom shall bleed, his soul, his existence are centered in you. Oh, snatched away in beauty's bloom. George Gordon Byron. Snatched away in beauty's bloom. Oh, we shall press in a ponderous tomb, where turfed roses near, the leaves furthest fear, where its press wave in tender gloom. Of by yon blue gushing stream shall soar lean a dropping head, and feet deep forth with many a dream, and lingering pause and lightly tread, fond rev, as if a step disturb the dead. Away we know where tears are vain, and have no heeds nor hears distress. Will this unteach us to complain, make our mourner weep the less? Oh woe, who tells me to forget, who looks upon when eyes are wet? Oh, weep for woes, George Gordon Byron. Weep for woes that wept by Babel's stream, shrines the desolate whose land dream. Here for the harp of Judah's broken shell, mourn where the god who dwelt, the godless dwell. Where shall Israel lay the bleeding feet, and when shall Zion's songs again seem sweet? And Judah's melody once more rejoice, for hearts that leapt before its heavenly voice? Tribes of wandering foot and veil breast, or shall flee away and be at rest? Wild of half the nest, the fox's cave, mankind the country, Israel but the grave. Oh, when shall the grave hide? By George Gordon Byron. Oh, when shall the grave hide forever my sorrow? Oh, when shall my soul wing a flight from this clay? A present is hell and the coming tomorrow, but brings with new torture the curse of today. My eyes flows no tears, my lips flow no curses, I blast the fiends who have hurled me from bliss. For poor is the soul which bewailing rehearses its querulous grief and anguish like bliss. Was my eye stead of tears, of red fury flakes brightening, or lips breathe a flame which no stream could assuage, nor a foe should my glance launch in vengeance its lightning, if transport my tongue give loose to its rage. But no tears and curses, alike unavailing, would add to the soul's for tyrant's delight, could view us our sad separation bewailing, the merciless heart's joys at sight. Yet still though we bend with faint resignation, life beams not for us, for one ray what can cheer. Love and hope upon earth bring no more consolation, a grave is so hope, for life is so a fear. Oh, when, my adored, in the tomb they place me, since in life, love and friendship forever are fled. If again in the mansion of death I embrace thee, perhaps we will leave unmolested the dead. On a change of masters at a great public school, by George Gordon Byron. Where was honours, Ida, once your own, when probes filled your magistrate throne? As ancient Rome, fast falling to disgrace, held a barbarian in a Caesar's place, so you degenerate share as hard a fate, and seize the pompous where your probus sate. Of narrow brain, yet of a narrow soul, Pompous holds you in his harsh control. Pompous by no social virtue swayed, the florid gone, the fame parade, of noisy nonsense and new-fangled rules, such as were ne'er before enforced in schools, mistaking pedantry for learning's laws. He governs, sanctions, and has self-applause. Within the same dire fate attending Rome, ill-fated Ida, soon must stamp your doom. Like her overthrown, forever lost to fame, not trace of science left you, but the name. On a Cornelian heart which was broken, George Gordon Byron. Ill-fated heart, can it be, thou shouldst thus be rent in vain, if years of care for wine and we, like been all employed in vain? Yet precious seems each shattered part, and every fragment dear grown, since he who wears the fields for art, is the emblem of his own. On a Nun, by George Gordon Byron. Of two fair virgins, modest, though admired, heaven made us happy, and now, wretched sires, heaven for nobler doom the worth desires, gazing upon either both required. Mine, while the talk of him, and newly fired, becomes extinguished, soon to soon expires, but thine within the closing grate retired, eternal captive to a god aspires. But though at least from out the jealous door, which shuts between your nerve meeting eyes, may steer sweet and pierced voice once more. I too for marvel where my daughter lies rush, with one flood of bitterness I pour, and knock and knock and knock, but none replies. On being asked what was the origin of love, by George Gordon Byron, the origin of love, a why that cruel question ask of me, and thou mayst read in many an eye he starts to live on seeing me. And shouldst thou seek his end to know, my heart forebodes, my fears foresees, yet linger long in silent woe, but live until I cease to be. On finding a fan, by George Gordon Byron, and one who felt as once he felt, this might perhaps have fanned the flame, but now his heart no more will melt, because that heart is not the same. As when the ebbing flames allow, the aid which once improved the light, and made them burn the fiercer glow, now quenches all the blaze in night. Thus has it been with passion's fires, as many a boy and girl remembers, and the hope of love expires, extinguished with dying embers. The first, when not the sparks survive, some careful hand may teach to burn. The last, alas, I can never survive, no touch can bite its warmth reform. Or, if it change to wake again, and always doomed its heat to smolder, it sheds, so wayward fates ordain, its former warmth around another. On Jordan's banks, by George Gordon Byron. On Jordan's banks the Arab's camels stray, on Sion's hill the false ones for terror's prey. The ball adores boats on Sinai steep, yet there, even there, O God, thy thunder sleep. Where there thy fingers scorched the tablet stone, where there the shadow to thy people shone, the glory shrouded in its garb of fire, thyself none living see and not expire. On the lightning let thy glance appear, sweet from a shivered hand the oppressor's spear. How long thy turn shall thy land be trod, how long thy temples worshipless, O God? On Moore's last operatic farce, by George Gordon Byron. Good places Kirk, Sir Moore writes farce. The poet's fame grows brittle. We knew before the little's Moore, but now 'tis Moore that's little. On my 33rd birthday, by George Gordon Byron. For lifestyle road so dim and dirty, I've dragged to 30 and 3. What have these years left to me? Nothing except 33. On my wedding day, George Gordon Byron. Here's a happy new year, but with reason I beg you'll permit me to say, wish me many returns of season, but as few as you please of day. On Napoleon's escape from Elba, by George Gordon Byron. Once fairly set out on his party of pleasure, taking towns as his liking and crowns at his leisure, from Elba to Lyon and Paris he goes, making balls for the ladies and bows to his foes. On parting, by George Gordon Byron. The kiss, dear maid, the lip has left shall never part from mine, there'll be ours restore the gift, and taint back to wine. The parting glance, which fondly beams, an equal love may see, the tear that from my eyelid streams, can reap no change in me. Ours no pledge to make me blest, gazing when alone, and one memorial for our breast, whose thoughts are all thine own. No need I write to tell the tale, my pen were doubly weak. Oh, what can idle words avail, unless the heart could speak? By day or night, in weal or woe, that heart no longer free, I speak the love it cannot show in silent ache for me. On Revisiting Harrow, by George Gordon Byron. Here once engaged with strangers of view, young friendship's record simply traced. Few were her words, but yet for few resentment's hand the line defaced. Deeply she cut, but not erased, the characters were still so plain. At friendship once returned and gazed, till memory hailed the words again. Repentance placed them as before, forgiveness joined a gentle name. So fair the inscription seemed once more, with friendship thought it's still the same. Thus might the record now have been, that I, in spite of hope's endeavour, or friendship's tears, pride rushed between, and blotted out the line forever. On the day of the destruction of Jerusalem by Titus, by George Gordon Byron. On the last hill that looks on thy once holy dome, I beheld me, O Sion, and rendered to Rome. 'Twas the last sun went down, and the flames of thy fall flashed back on the last glance I gave to thy wall. I looked for thy temple, I looked for my home, and forgot for a moment my bondage to come. I beheld but the death fire that fed on thy fane, and the fast-fettered hands that made vengeance in vain. On many an eve the high spot whence I gazed, had reflected the last beam of day as it blazed. While I stood on the height and beheld the decline of the race from the mountain that shone on my shrine. And on that mountain I stood on that day, and I marked not the twilight be melting away. I would that the lightning had glared in its stead, and the thunderbolt burst on the conqueror's head. The gods of the pagan shall never profane the shrine where Jehovah disdained not to reign, and scattered and scorned as the people may be, O worship of Father, is only for we. On the death of a young lady, by George Gordon Byron. Hushed are the winds and still the evening gloom, not e'en as a fire wanders through the grove, will I return to view my Margaret's tomb, and scatter flowers of her dust I love. If in this narrow cell reclines the clay, that clay, at once such animation beamed, the king of terror seized her as his prey, and worth my beauty half a life redeemed. Or could that king of terror's pity feel, I have no words to dread decree of fate? Not here the mourner would his grief reveal, not here the muse her virtues would relate. But therefore weep, her matchless spirit soars beyond where splendid shines the orb of day, and reaping angels lead her to those bowers, wherein displeasures virtuous deeds repay. And should presumptuous mortals heaven arraign, and madly godlike providence accuse? No, far fly from my attempts so vain, I never submission to my God refuse. Yet is remembrance of his virtues dear, yet fresh memory of her beauteous face. Still they call forth my warm affections dear, still my heart retain their wonted place. On this day I complete my 36th year. George Gordon Byron. 'Tis time the heart should be unmoved, since others it have ceased to move. Yet though I cannot be beloved, still let me love. My days are in the yellow leaf, the flowers and fruits of love are gone. Warm the canker and the grief are mine alone. A fire that in my bosom prays as long as some volcanic isle, and talk is kindled at its blaze, a funeral pile. Of the hope for fear, the jealous care, the exalted portion of the pain and power of love, I cannot share but with it shame. But 'tis not thus, 'tis not here, such thoughts should shake my soul, no, where glory decks the hero's briar, or binds his brow. The sword, the banner, and the field, glorious Greek, around me see. The Spartan, born upon a shield, was not more free. Awake, not Greek, she is awake. Awake, my spirit, think through whom the life-blood tracks its parent lake, and then strike home. Treat those reviving passions down unworthy manhood, unto we indifferent should the smile or frown of beauty be. If thou regrettest thy youth, why live? The land of honourable death is here, up to the field and give away thy breath. Seek out, less often sought than found, a soldier's grave for we the best. Look around, and choose the ground, and take thy rest. One struggle more, and I am free. By George Gordon Byron. One struggle more, and I am free from pangs that rend my heart in twain. One last long sigh to laugh and we, and back to busy life again. It suits me well to mingle now the things that never pleased before. While the joys fled below, what future grief can touch me more? And bring me wine the banquet bring, man was not formed to live alone. I'll be that light, unmeaning thing that smiles with all and weeps with none. It was not thus in days more dear, it never would have been, that thou hast fled and left me lonely here, for nothing, all or nothing now. In vain my lyre would lightly breathe, the smile that so fain would were, but mocks what lurks beneath like roses o'er a sepulchre. For gay companions o'er the bowl dispel awhile the sense of ill, for pleasure's fires mending soul, the heart is lonely still. On many a lone and lovely night it sooth to gaze upon the sky, or when I deem the heavenly light shone sweetly on the pensive eye, on the thwarted Cynthia's noon, and sailing over egg and wave, the first I gazed on that moon, alas, it gleamed upon a grave. Stretched on fever's sleepless bed, and sickness shrunk my throbbing veins, still comfort still, I faintly said, at first I cannot know my pains. Like freedom to the time-worn slave, a boon 'tis idle one to give, relenting nature vainly gave my life, and with it ceased to live. Verses pledged and better taste when love and life alike were new, but different now thou meet'st my gaze, I tinged by time with sorrow's hue. The heart that gave itself we is silent, ah, were mine is still. More cold as e'en the dead can be, it feels, it sickens with chill. The bitter pledge, the mournful token, though painful, welcome to my breast. Still preserve it love unbroken, or break the heart to which war pressed. Time tempers love, but not removes, more hallowed when its hope is fled. Oh, what a thousand living loves, to wed which cannot quit the dead. Remembrance, by George Gordon Byron. 'Tis done, I saw it in my dreams, no more with hope the future beams. My days of happiness are few, chilled by misfortune's wintry blast. My dawn of life is overcast. Love, hope, and joy are like adieu. Would I could add remembrance too. Remind me not, by George Gordon Byron. Remind me not of those beloved, those vanished hours, when my soul was given to thee, hours that may never be forgot. To time and nerves or vital powers, now that I shall cease to be. Can I forget, canst thou forget, when playing with her golden hair, how quick her fluttering heart did move? How by my soul I see thee yet, with eyes so languid, breast so fair, and lips so silent, breathing in love. And was reclining on my breast, whose eyes threw back a glance so sweet, as half reproach yet raised desire, and still we near and near pressed, and still our glowing lips would meet, as if in kisses to expire. And then those pensive eyes would close, and with their lids each over seek, veiling the azure orbs below, while the long lashes darkened gloss seemed stealing over thy brilliant cheek, like raven's plumage smoothed on snow. I dreamed last night our love returned, and sooth to say that very dream was sweeter in its fantasy, and if for other hearts I burned, for eyes that never like wine could beam in a rapture's wild reality. And tell me not, remind me not, of hours which, though for ever gone, can still a pleasuring dream restore, till thou I shall be forgot, and senseless as the mouldering stone, which tells that we shall be no more. She Walks in Beauty, by George Gordon Byron. She walks in beauty like the night, the cloud that climbs in starry skies, and all its best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to the tender light which heaven to gauntly day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, yet half impaired the nameless grace which raised in every raven tress, or softly lightens our face, with thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear that dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, that tell of days and goodness spent, a mind at peace of all below, a heart whose love is innocent. So we'll go no more a-roving, George Gordon Byron. So we'll go no more a-roving so late into the night, our hearts still be as loving and the moon still be as bright. Our solid words at chef, and the solid words to breast, the heart must pause to breathe, and love itself have rest. But the night was made for loving, if the day returns too soon, we go no more a-roving by the light of the moon. Solitude, George Gordon Byron. To sit on rocks, to muse our flood and fell, to slowly trace the forest shady scene, the things that own not man's dominion dwell, a mortal foot hath ne'er or rarely been, to climb the trackless mountain all unseen, the white flock that never needs a fold, alone on steeps and foaming folds to lean, this is not solitude, 'tis but to hold converse with nature's charms and view her stores on road. Amidst the crowd of hurry shock of man, to hear, to see, to feel, and to possess, a roam alone, the world's tired denizen, with none who bless us, none whom we can bless, minions of splendor shrinking from distress, none with kindred consciousness endued, if we were not, would seem to smile the less of all the flattered, followed sword and suit. This is to be alone, this is solitude. Song, by George Gordon Byron. Breeze of a night and gentler sighs more softly murmur over the pillow, for slumber seals my fanny's eyes, and peace must never shun a pillow. Our breath, O sweet Aeolian strains, stolen from celestial spheres above, to charm her ear while some remains and soothe her soul to dreams of love. But breeze of night again forbear, and softest murmurs only sigh, that not as a fire's pinion dare to lift those auburn looks on high. Chill is thy breath, thou breeze of night, and roughen not those lids of snow, for only morning's cheering light may wake the beam that lurks below. Blessed be that lip and azure eye, sweet fanny hollowed by thy sleep, whose lips shall never wend a sigh, whose eyes may never wake to weep. Substitute for an Epitaph, by George Gordon Byron. Kind reader, take your choice to cry or laugh. Here how it lies, where wears his epitaph. If such you seek, try Westminster and view 10,000 just as fit for him as you. Son of a Sleepless, by George Gordon Byron. Son of a sleepless, melancholy star, whose tearful beam glows tremulously far, and shines the darkness thou canst not dispel, or like art thou to joy remembered well. So gleams the past, the light of our days, which shines and warms not with its powerless rays. A night beam so watcheth to behold, distinct but distant, clear, but oh how cold. The chain I gave, by George Gordon Byron. The chain I gave was fair to view, the lute I added sweet in sound. The heart that offered both was true, and ill deserved the fate it found. These gifts were charmed by secret spell, by truth and absence to divine. A way of done their duty well, alas, we could not teach thee wine. The chain was firm in every link, and not to be a stranger's touch. The lute was sweet, till thou couldst think, never hands its notes were such. Let him who from thy neck unbound the chain which shivered in his grasp, who saw that lute refuse to sound, restring the chords, renew the clasp. And though the changed, the altar too, the chain is broke, the music mute. This pass to them and thee adieu, false heart, frail chain and silent lute. The Charity Ball, by George Gordon Byron. What matter the pangs of a husband and father, if his source in exile be great or be small? So the Pharisees glories around her she gather, and the saint patronizes her charity bore. What matters a heart which, for faulty was feeling, be driven to excesses which once could appeal, and a sinner should suffer as only fair dealing, as the saint keeps a charity back for the ball. The Conquest, George Gordon Byron. The son of love and lord of war I sing, him who bade England bow to Normandy, and left the name of conqueror more than king to his unconquerable dynasty. Not fanned alone by victory's fleeting wing, he reared his bold and brilliant throne on high. The best that kept like lions his prey fast, and Britain's bravest victor was the last. The Eve of Waterloo, by George Gordon Byron. There was a sound of revelry by night, and Belgium's capital had gathered then her beauty and chivalry, and bright the lamp shone o'er fair woman and brave man. 1,000 hearts beat happily, and the music arose of its voluptuous swell. Soft eyes looked love to eyes which spake again. All went merry as a Marriott's bell, but hush, hark, a deep sound strikes like a rising near. Did ye not hear it? No, 'twas but the wind of a cart rattling o'er a stony street, on with the dance. Let joy be confined, no sleep till morn, when youth and pleasure meet, to chase the glowing hours with flying feet. What hark, what heavy sound breaks in once more, as if the clouds its echo would repeat. And nearer, clear, deadlier than before. Arm, it is, the cannon's opening roar. Within the windowed niche of that high hall sate Brunswick's fated chieftain. He did hear that sound first amidst the festival, and caught its sound of death's prophetic ear. And he smiled because he deemed it near. His heart more truly knew that peal to bell which stretched as far from the bloody briar, and rose to vengeance blood alone could quell. He rushed into the field, and foremost fighting fell. Ah, then and there was hurrying to and fro, and gathering tears and tremblings of distress, and cheeks all pale, which, but an hour ago, blushed at the praise of her own loveliness. And there were sudden partings, such as press the life from our young hearts, and choking sighs which ne'er might be repeated. Who would guess if evermore should meet those mutual eyes, as upon nights so sweet such awful morn could rise? And there was mounting in hot haste, the steed, the mustang squadron, and the clattering car, and pulling forward with them to her speed, and swiftly formed in ranks of war. And the deep thunder pealed and pealed afar, and near the beat of the alarming drum roused of a soldier of the morning star. While thronged the citizens of terror dumb are whispering with white lips, the foe, they come, they come. The First Kiss of Love, by George Gordon Byron. Away with your fictions of flimsy romance, those tissues of false which folly has wove. Give me the mild beam of a soul-breathing glance, of rapture which dwells on the first kiss of love. Ye rhymers whose bosoms with fantasy glow, whose pastoral passions are made for the grove. From what blessed inspiration your sonnets would flow, could you ever have tasted the first kiss of love? If Apollo should e'er his assistance refuse, or the nine be disposed from your service to rove, and evoke them no more, bid adieu to the muse, and try the effect of a first kiss of love. I hate you, ye good compassions of art, the prudes may condemn me, and bigots reprove. I court the effusions that spring from the heart, which throbs with delight at the first kiss of love. Your shepherds, your flocks, those fantastical themes, perhaps may amuse, yet they never can move. Arcadia displays but a region of dreams, where their visions like weeds to the first kiss of love. O cease to affirm that man, since his birth from Adam till now has with wretchedness strove. Some portion of paradise still is on earth, and Eden revives in the first kiss of love. When age chills the blood, when our pleasures are past, for years fleet away with the wings of a dove, the nearest remembrance will still be the last, our sweetest memorial, the first kiss of love. The spell is broke, the charm is flown, by George Gordon Byron. The spell is broke, the charm is flown, thus is it with life's fitful fever. We madly smile when we should groan, delirium is our best deceiver. Each lucid interval of thought recalls the woes of nature's charter, and even acts as wise men ought, but lives, as saints have died, a maverick. The Tear, by George Gordon Byron. When friendship or love or sympathies move, and truth in a glance should appear, the lips may beguile with a dimple or smile, and a test of affection's a tear. Too oft is a smile but the hypocrite's wile, to mask the detestation of fear. Give me the soft sigh, whilst the soul-telling eye is dimmed for time with a tear. Mild charity's glow to us mortals below shows the soul from barbarity clear. Compassion will melt if its virtue is felt, and stews diffused in a tear. The man doomed to sail with the blast of a gale, through billows Atlantic to steer as he bends o'er the wave, which may soon be his grave, the green sparkles bright with a tear. The soldier braves death or fanciful wrath, and glows romantic career, but he raises the foe when in battle laid low, and bows every wound with a tear. If with high-bounding pride he returned to his bride, renouncing the gore-crimson spear, all his toils are repaid, when embracing the maid, from my island he kisses the tear. Sweet sense of my youth, seat of friendship and truth, the love chased each fast fleeting year, loved to leave there I mourned, for last look I turned, but my spire was scarce seen through a tear. For my vows I can pour, to my Mary no more, my Mary, to love once so dear. With shade of a bow I remember the hour she warded those woes with a tear. By never possessed, may she live ever blessed, her name still my heart must revere. For sigh I resign, what I once thought was mine, and forgive I see with a tear. Ye friends of my heart, ere from you I depart, whose help to my breast is most near. If again we shall meet in this rural retreat, may we meet as we part with a tear. My soul wings a flight in the regions of night, my core shall recline on its briar, as ye pass by the tomb where my ashes consume, or moisten their dust with a tear. May no marble bestow the splendor of woe which the children of vanity rear. The fiction of fame shall blazon my name, all I ask, all I wish is a tear. There be none of beauty's daughters but George Gordon Byron. There be none of beauty's daughters with magic like we, but music on the waters is her sweet voice to me. When, as if its sound were causing the charmed oceans pausing, waves lie still and gleaming, and the lulled winds seem dreaming, and the midnight moon is weaving a bright shine on the deep, whose breast is gently heaving as an infant's asleep. So her spirit bows before we, to listen and adore we, her full but soft emotion like the swell of summer's ocean. Where is pleasure in the pathless woods? George Gordon Byron. Where is the pleasure in the pathless woods? Where is the rapture on the lonely shore? Where is society where none intrudes, with the deep sea and music in its roar? I love not man the less, but nature more. Of these interviews in which I steal all I may be or have been before, to mingle with the universe and feel what I cannot express, I cannot all conceal. There was a time I need not name, by George Gordon Byron. There was a time I need not name, since it will ne'er forgotten me, and all my feelings were the same as still my soul have been to thee. And from that hour and first right hand confessed a love which equalled mine, for many a grief my heart hath wrung, unknown and was unfelt by wine. None hath sunk so deep as this, to think all that love hath flown, transient as every fadeless kiss, but transient in thy breast alone. Yet my heart some solace knew, when later heard thy lips declare, an accents once imagined true remembrance of the days that were. Yes, my adored, yet most unkind, though thou wilt never love again, to me 'tis double sweet to find remembrance of that love remain. Yes, 'tis a glorious thought to me, no longer shall my soul repine, whatever thou art or ever shall be, thou hast been dearly, solely mine. There was a time I need not name, by George Gordon Byron. There was a time I need not name, since it will ne'er forgotten be, all our feelings were the same as my soul hath been to thee. And from that hour and first that hand confessed a love which equalled mine, for many a grief my heart hath wrung, unknown and was unfelt by wine. None hath sunk so deep as this, to think o'er all that love hath flown, transient as every faithless kiss, a transient in thy breast alone. And my heart some solace knew, and later heard thy lips declare, an accents once imagined true, in remembrance of the days that were. Yes, my adored, yet most unkind, for thou wilt never love again, to me 'tis double sweet to find remembrance of that love remain. Yes, 'tis a glorious thought to me, no longer shall my soul repine, where thou art or e'er shalt be, thou hast been dearly, solely mine. Thou art not false, but thou art fickle, George Gordon Byron. Thou art not false, but thou art fickle, who was thyself so fondly sought. The tears that thou hast forced to trickle are doubly bitter from that thought. 'Tis this which breaks the heart thou grievest, too well thou lovest, soon thou leavest. The holy faults the heart despises, and spurns deceiver and deceit, which you not the fault disguises, whose love is sincere and sweet, and she can change who loved so truly, yet feels what mine has felt so newly. To dream of joy and wake to sorrow is doomed to all who love or live, and if, when conscious of a more, we scarce of fancy can forgive, that cheated us in slumber only, to leave the waking soul more lonely. What must we feel, who know for its vision but truest, tenderest passion warmed? Sincere, but swift and sad transition, as if a dream alone had charmed? Ah, sure such grief is fancy's dreaming, and all that change can be but dreaming. To a Lady, George Gordon Byron. Or had my fate been joined with mine, as once the pledge appeared a token, these follies had not then been mine, for when my peace had not been broken. To thee these early faults I owe, to thee the wise and old reproving. They know my sins, but do not know, as wine to break the bonds of loving. Once my soul like wine was pure, and all its rising fires could smother, but now thy woes no more endure, bestowed by thee upon another. Perhaps his peace I could destroy, and spoil the bliss that await him, and let my rival smile and joy, for thy dear sake I cannot hate him. As since thy angel form is gone, my heart no more can rest with any, at what it sought in thee alone attempts alas to find in many. Then fare we well, deceitful maid, 'twere vain and fruitless to regret thee. No hope, no memory yield thy aid, but pride may teach me to forget thee. At all this giddy waste of years, this tiresome round of paling pleasures, these riot loves, these matron's fears, these thoughtless strains to passion's measures, as though what mine had all been hushed, this cheek, now pale from early riot, with passion's hectic ne'er had flushed, a bloomed and calm domestic quiet. Yes, once a rural scene was sweet, for nature seemed to smile before me. Once the breast abhorred deceit, when it beat but to adore me. But now I seek for other joys, to think what drive my soul to madness. In thoughtless throngs and empty noise I conquer half my bosom's sadness. Yet even in these a thought will steal, in spite of every vain endeavour, and fears my pity what I feel, to know it thou art lost for ever. To a lady, who presented to the author a lock of hair braided with his own, and appointed a night in December to meet him in the garden. George Gordon Byron. These locks, which fondly thus entwined, in firmer chains our hearts confine, all the unmeaning protestations which swell with nonsense love orations. Our love is fixed, I think we've proved it, no time, no place, nor art have moved it. When wherefore should we sigh and whine, with groundless jealousy repine, of silly whims and fancies frantic, merely to make our love romantic? Why should you weep, like Lydia languish, and fret with self-created anguish? Or doom the lover you have chosen, on winter nights 'tis high half frozen, in leafless shades to sue for pardon, only because the scene's a garden? For gardens seem but one consented, since Shakespeare set the precedent, since Juliet first declared the passion, to for the place of assignation. Would some modern muse inspire, in situ by a sea-cold fire, or had the barn at Christmas written, and laid the scene of love in Britain, ye surely in commiseration had changed the place of declaration. Italy I have no objection, warm nights are proper for reflection. But here our climate is so rigid, that love itself is rather frigid. Think on our chilly situation, and curb the rage of imagination. Then let us meet, as oft we've done, beneath the influence of the sun. Or, if at midnight I must meet you, within your mansion let me greet you. Where we can laugh for hours together, much better in such a snowy weather, than placed in all the Arcadian groves, where the witnessed rule loves. When if my passion fail to please, next night I'll be contented to freeze. The more I give a loose to laughter, would curse my fate for ever after. To an Oak at Newstead, by George Gordon Byron. Young oak, when I planted thee deep in the ground, I hoped that thy days would be longer than mine. That thy dark waving branches would flourish around, and I thy trunk with its mantle entwine. Such was my hope, that in infancy on the land of my fathers I reared thee with pride. They are past, and their water I steamed with my tears, but decay not the weeds that surround thee can hide. I left thee my oak, and since that fatal hour, a stranger has dwelt in the hall of my sire. Till manhood should crown me, not mine is the power, but his, whose neglect may have bade thee expire. I hardly were went, even no little care might revive the young head, my wounds gently heal. I went not fated affection to share, for who could suppose that a stranger would feel? I dropped not my oak, left the head for a while, that tries around your glory this planet shall run. The end of a mask will teach thee to smile, infancy's years for passion are done. I would live in my oak, to water loft from the weeds, but clog thy young growth, and assist thy decay. For still in thy bosom my life's early seeds, and still may thy branches their beauty displace. Or yet, if maturity's years may be wine, why shall I low in the cavern of death? On the leaves yet the daybeam of ages may shine, uninjured by time or the rude winter's breath. For centuries still may thy boughs lightly wave, of the growths of the Lord in thy canopy laid. And the branches thus gratefully shelter his grave, the chief of the wise may recline in thy shade. And as he with his boys shall revisit the spot, he will tell them his whispers more softly to treat. Oh surely the weasel shall ne'er be forgot, he remains still hollows the dust of the dead. And here will we say, in life's glowing prime, perhaps he has put forth his young simple lay. Here must he sleep, till the moments of time are lost in the hours of eternity's day. To Anne, by George Gordon Byron. O Anne, your offences to me have been grievous. A fault from my wrath no atonement could save you. Rome is made to command and deceive us. I looked in your face and I almost forgave you. I vowed I could ne'er for a moment respect you, and thought that the day's separation was long. And you made that determined again to suspect you. Your smiles convinced my suspicion was wrong. I swore in a transport of young indignation, with fervent contentment evermore to disdain you. I saw you, my anger became admiration. No, or my wish, or my hopes to regain you. If beauty like yours, how vain the contention! As loudly I sue for forgiveness before you. At once to conclude such a fruitless dissension befalls, my sweet Anne, and I cease to adore you. To Caroline, George Gordon Byron. Thanks to I saw their beauteous eyes, suffused in tears, implored to stay, and heard unmoved their plenteous sighs, which essayed far more than words can say. How keen the grief her tears expressed, when love and hope lay both overthrown, yet still my girl, his bleeding breast, frothed with deep sorrow as thine own. As the her cheeks with anguish glowed, and her sweet lips were joined to mine, the tears that from my eyelids flowed were lost in the rosage fell from wine. Thou couldst not feel my burning cheek, my gushing tears had quenched its flame, and as thy tongue eased to speak, and sighs alone it breathed my name. Yet my girl we weep in vain our fate and sighs deplore. Remembrance only can remain, but that will make us weep for more. Again, thou best beloved, adieu. I if thou canst or come regret, and the mind past joys review, our only hope is to forget. To Emma, George Gordon Byron. Since now the hour is come at last, and you must quit your anxious lover, and now a dream of bliss is past, our pang, my girl, and all is over. Alas, that pang will be severe, which bids us part and meet no more, which tears me far from one so dear, departing for a distant shore. Well, we have passed some happy hours, and shall mingle with our tears, and thinking on these ancient towers, we shelter our infant years. Where from the Gothic casements hide, the views, the lake, the park, the dell, and still though tears obstruct our sight, we lingering look alas farewell. Our fields through which we used to run and spend the hours in childish play, our shades where, when our race was done, reposing on my breast you lay, while I, admiring to remiss, thou could to scare the hovering flies, yet envied every fly the kiss it dared to give your slumbering eyes. See still the little painted bark, in which I rowed you o'er a lake. See there, highwaying o'er the park, there I clambered for your sake. These times are past, our joys are gone, you leave me, leave this happy vale, these scenes I must retrace alone, without thee what will they avail? Who can conceive, who has not proved the anguish of a last embrace, when, torn from all your fondly love, you bid a long adieu to peace? This is the deepest of our woes, for this these tears so cheeks bedew, this is of love a final close, O God, the fondest last adieu. To Florence, George Gordon Byron. Lady, when I left the shore, the distant shore which gave me birth, hardly for to grieve once more, to quit another spot on earth. Yet here amidst this barren isle, where panting nature drops the head, only thou hadst seen to smile, I view my parting hour with dread. Or far from Albion's craggy shore, divided by the dark blue main, a few brief rolling seasons o'er, perchance I view her cliffs again. Wheresoever I now may roam, through scorching clime and varied sea, or time restore me to my home, and I shall bend mine eyes on thee. On thee, in whom at once conspire all charms of heedless hearts can move, whom but thou seest to admire, and oh, forgive the word, to love. Forgive a word, and one who never, as such a word, can more offend. And since the heart I cannot share, believe me what I am, thy friend. And who so cold as a look on thee, will lovely wanderer, and be less? Nor be what man should ever be, the friend of beauty in distress. I would think that form had passed through danger's most destructive path, had braved the death, winged tempest blast, and scaped the torrent's fierce wrath. Lady, when I shall view the walls, the free but seen from once arose, and Stamwood's oriental halls, the Turkish torrents now enclose, the mightiest in the list of fame, the glorious city still shall be, me to hold a drear claim a spot of thy nativity. And though bid thee now farewell, when behold that wondrous scene, since where thou art I may not dwell, 'twill sooth to be where thou hast been. To Mary, on receiving a picture, George Gordon Byron. This faint resemblance of thy charms was strong as mortal art could give. A constant heart of fear disarms, revives my hopes, and bids me live. Here I can trace the locks of gold which round thy snowy forehead wave, the cheeks which sprung from beauty's mould, the lips which made me beauty's slave. Here I can trace, I know with eye, whose azure floats and liquid fire must all the painter's art defy, and bid him from the task retire. Here behold its beauteous hue, and as the beam so sweetly straying, which gave the lustre to its blue, like a lunar of the ocean playing. Sweet copy, far more dear to me, a lifeless unfeeling as for art, and all the living forms could be, save her who placed thee next my heart. She placed the saieth with needless fear, lest time might shake my wavering soul, unconscious that her image where held every sense in fast control. Through hours, through years, through time, 'twill cheer my hope in gloomy moments race, and life's last conflict will appear, and meet my fond, expiring gaze. To Mr. Mary, George Gordon Byron. To hope the reader you, John Mary, have published Andrew's Margaret, which won't be sold off in a hurry, at least it has not been as yet, and thence the further to while I am without remorse to set up Adrian. So mind you don't get into debt, because so if you should fail, his book should be but babish bail. And mind you do not let escape his rhymes to Morning Post or Perry, it would be very treacherous, Rary, and get me into such a scrape. For firstly I should have to sally all in my little boat against the galley, and should I change the slave azure and white, have next to come with a female knight. To my son, George Gordon Byron. Those flaxen locks, those eyes of blue, bright as the mother's in the hue, those rosy lips, whose dimples play and smile to steal the heart away, recall a scene of former joy, and touch my father's heart, my boy. Nor canst lisp the father's name, O William, thine own the same. No self-reproach, but let me cheese, my care for we shall purchase peace, where our shade shall smile and joy and pardon of the past, my boy. A lowly grave turf has pressed, and thou hast known a stranger's breast. Derision sneers upon the birth, and yields thee scarce a name on earth. It shall not these one hope destroy, a father's heart is thrown, my boy. While at the world and feeling thrown, must different natures claim this own? No, for mortals we prove, I hail thee, dearest child of love, fair child, pledge of youth and joy, a father guards thy birth, my boy. It will be sweet and we to trace, age has wrinkled all my face, off my glass of life is run, and once a brother and a son. On my wane of years employed, justice done to me, my boy. Although so young thy heedless sire, youth will not damp parental fire, although still less dear to me, while Helen's form revives and we, a breast which beats to former joy, never desert its pledge, my boy. To the Countess of Blessington, by George Gordon Byron. You have asked for worse, a crest in the rhymer 'twas strange to deny. My Pochran was but my breast, my feelings its fountain are dry. When now as I was, I had sung what Lawrence has painted so well, and the strain would expire on my tongue, and the theme is too soft for my shell. I am ashes where once it was fire, and the bard in my bosom is dead. What laughter now merrily admire, and my heart is as grey as my head. But life is not dated by years, by moments which act as plough, and where's not the fire appears, but as deep in my soul as my brow. And the young and the brilliant aspire to sing what I gaze on in vain, for so I torn from my lyre the string which was worth the strain. To Thomas Moore, George Gordon Byron. My boat is on the shore, my bark's on the sea, for I go, Tom Moore, is a little help for thee. Sigh to those who love me, smile to those who hate. Where the skies above me is a heart for every fate. The ocean rolled round me, yet it still should bear me on, and as it should surround me, as spring that may be won. At last drop in the well, as I gasped from the brink, my fainting spirit fell, 'tis to thee that I would drink. With water as with wine, with libation I would pour, should be peace of thine and mine, and I have to thee, Tom Moore. To Time, George Gordon Byron. Time whose arbitrary wing, the dying hours must flag or fly, whose tardy winter, fleeting spring, but drag or drive us on to die. Hail thou, who on my birth bestowed, was boons to all that know me known. Ever I sustain the load, or I bear the weight alone. I would not one fond heart should share with the moments thou hast given, and pardon thee, since thou couldst spare all that I loved, to peace or heaven. To them be joy or rest, on me the future ills will press in vain, and nothing over the years to be, a debt already paid in pain. Yet even with pain was some relief, it felt, but still forgot thy power. The active agony of grief retards, never counts the hour. In joy I've sighed to think their flight would soon subside from swift to slow, where cold could o'ercast the light, but could not add a night to woe. When, however, drear and dark, I still pursued it to the sky, one star alone shot forth a spark to prove we not eternity. A beam half sunk, now more art a blank, a thing to count and curse, through each dull tedious trifling part, which all regret yet all rehearse. One scene even thou canst not deform, the limit of thy slothful speed, when future wanderers bear the storm, which we shall sleep to sound to heed. I can smile to think how weak, when effort shortly shall be shown, although vengeance war canst drag must fall upon a nameless stone. Translation of the famous Greek war song, George Gordon Byron. Sons of the Greeks arise, the glorious hour is gone forth, and worthy of such ties display who gave us birth. Sons of Greeks, let us go, in arms against the foe, if the hated blood should flow in a river past our feet. Then manifold despising of Turkish tyrant's yoke, let your country see you rising, and all her chains are broke. Brave shades of chiefs and sages, behold the coming strife. Hellenes of past ages, oh, start again to live. At the sound of my trumpet breaking your sleep, oh, loin with me, and the 7 hills city seeking, fight conquer till we're free. Sons of Greeks, let us go, and arms against the foe, the hated blood shall flow in a river past our feet. Sparta, Sparta, why in slumbers, lethargic Dolvo lie, awake and join the numbers with Athens' old ally, learners recalling the chief of ancient song, who saved you once from failing, the terrible, the strong, who made with bold aversion old Hermphole and won with the Persian to keep his country free. With 300 waging the battle, long he stood, and like a lion raging, expired in seas of blood. Sons of Greeks, let us go in arms against the foe, till their hated blood shall flow in a river past our feet. Venice, by George Gordon Byron. 'Tis midnight, but it is not dark within thy spacious place, St. Mark. The lights within the lamps of old shine above the river road. The brazen steeds are glittering o'er the holy building's messy door, glittering with the colours of gold, goodly work of the days of old. And the winged lions stern and solemn thrones of the height of his hoary column, facing the palace in which doth lodge the ocean city's dreaded dodge. The palace is proud, but near it lies divided by the bridge of sighs, a dread dwelling where the state enchains the captives of her hate. These, the parish of a pine, but which their doom may none divine. Many have passed that arc of pain, but none retracted their steps again. It is a princely colonnade, wrought around a princely place, when a vast edifice displayed looks with its venerable face over far and subject sea, which makes the fearless isles so free. It is a strange and noble pile, pillared into many a aisle, every pillar there to see, marble, jasper, and porphyry, the church of St. Mark, which stands hard by, the fretted pinnacles on high, and cupola and minaret, more like the mosque of Orient lands, the fanes wherein we pray, and Mary's blessed likeness stands. We sat down and wept by the waters, George Gordon Byron. Sat down and wept by the waters of Babel, and thought of the day and our foe, and the hue of his slaughters, made Salem's high palaces his prey. Ye, our desolate daughters, were scattered or weeping away. As sadly we gazed on the river which rolled on freedom below, we demanded the song, but who never triumph stranger shall know, with the right hand we will put forever, where it string our high harp for the foe. On the withered harp suspended, O Salem, its sound should be free. The elven glories were ended, but left me the token of we. And shall its soft tones be blended with voice, the spoiler but me. Well, thou art happy, by George Gordon Byron. Well, thou art happy, and I feel that I should always be happy too. For still my heart regrets thy weal warmly, as it was wont to do. The husband's blessed, and 'twill impart some pangs to view his happier lot. But let them pass. How my heart would hate him if he loved thee not. When late I saw their favourite child, I thought my jealous heart would break. But then the unconscious infant smiled. I kissed it for its mother's sake. I kissed it and repressed my sighs, its father and its face to see. Then it had its mother's eyes, and we were all to love and me. Mary, adieu, I must away. Although at blessed I'll not repine, but near me I can never stay. My heart would soon again be wine. I deemed the time, I deemed that pride had quenched at length my boyish flame, and knew till seated by my side, my heart and all, save hope, the same. Yet was I calm, I knew the time, my breast would thrill before my look. But now to tremble were a crime, we met, not a nerve or shock, as if he gazed upon my face, yet meet with no confusion where, one only feeling could so trace the sullen calmness of despair. Away, away, a murdered dream, Remembrance never must awake. For where's the last fabled stream, My foolish heart be still or break. When coldness wraps the suffering clay, George Gordon Byron. When coldness wraps the suffering clay, and with strays the immortal mind, it cannot die, it cannot stay, but leaves its darkened dust behind. When unembodied doth it trace where steps each planet's heavenly way, or filled once the realms of space, a thing of ice that all survey, eternal, boundless, undecayed, a thought unseen, but seeing all on earth for skies displayed, shall it survive, shall it call? Each fainter trace of memory holds so darkly of departed years, in one brief glance the soul beholds, and all that was at once appears. Before creation peopled earth, its eye shall roll through chaos back, and where the farthest heaven had birth, as to trace its rising track. And the future master makes its glance dilate, or all to be, when sun is quenched, the system breaks, fixed in its own eternity. Above, or love, hope, hate, or fear, it lives all passionless and pure. An age shall fleet like earthly year, its years a moment shall endure. Away, away without a wing, or all through all its thought shall fly, a nameless and eternal thing, forgetting what it was to die. When I hear that you express an affection so warm, by George Gordon Byron. When I hear that you express an affection so warm, and I think, my beloved, that I do not believe. For your lip would the self-suspicion disarm, and your eye beams a ray which can never deceive. Yet still this fond bosom regrets, while adoring, that love, like the leaf, must fall into the seer, that age will come on, and remembrance, deploring, contemplates the scenes of the youth with a tear. Thus the time must arrive, when, no longer retaining the auburn, whose locks must wave thin to the breeze, when a few silver hairs of those tresses, remaining prove nature a prey to decay and disease. 'Tis this, my beloved, which spreads gloom o'er my features, or ne'er presume to arrange the decree which God has proclaimed as the fate of his creatures, and the death which will one day deprive you of me. Mistake not, sweet skeptic, the course of emotion, no doubt can the mind of the lover invade. He worships each look with such faithful devotion, a smile can enchant or a tear can dissuade. But his death, my beloved, soon or late shall overtake us, and at rest, which alive with such a sympathy glow, but sleep in the grave with blast shall awake us, when calling the dead, and with his bosom laid low. Oh, when, let us drain, when we may, draughts of pleasure, which from passion like ours may unceasingly flow. Let us pass around the cup of love's bliss in full measure, and quaff the contents as our nectar below. When I roved the young Highlander, by George Gordon Byron. When I roved the young Highlander o'er dark heath, and climbed the steep summit, or morven of snow, to gaze on the torrent with thundered beneath, or the mist of the tempest that gathered below, untutored by science, a stranger to fear, and rude as the rocks, my infancy grew, no feeling, save one, to my bosom was dear, need I say, my sweet Mary, transcended in you. Yet it could not be love, for knew not the name, what passion can dwell in the heart of a child. But still I perceive an emotion the same as I felt when a boy on the crack-covered wild. One image alone on my bosom impressed, I loved my bleak regions, nor panted for new. And few were my wants, for my wishes were blessed, and pure were my thoughts, my soul was with you. I arose with the dawn, for my dog is my guide. From mountain to mountain I bounded along, I breasted the billows of day's rushing tide, and heard at the distance the highland song. At eve, on my heath-covered couch of repose, no dreams, save of Mary, were spread to my view, and warm to the skies my devotion soars, for the first of my prayers is a blessing on you. I left my bleak home, and my visions are gone, the mountains are vanished, my youth is no more. So the last of my race, I must wither alone, in the light but in days I have witnessed before. A splendor has erased, but embittered my lot. More dear were the scenes which my infancy knew. For my hopes may have failed, yet they are not forgot, for cold as my heart, still it lingers with you. When I see some dark hill points its crest to the sky, I think of the rocks that our shadow could lean. When I see the soft blue of a love-speaking eye, I think of those eyes that endure the rude scene. When haply some light-waving locks I behold, that faintly resemble my Mary's in hue, I think on the long, flowing ringlets of gold, the locks that are scared to beauty and you. Yet the day may arrive, and the mountains once more shall rise to my sight in their mantles of snow. And while we saw above me, unchanged as before, May beware to receive me, or no. And you, when ye hills where childhood was bred, or sweet flowing Dee to the waters adieu. No home in the forest shall shelter my head, Mary, what home could be mine but with you? When to the Airy Hall, by George Gordon Byron. When to the Airy Hall my father's voice shall call my spirit, joyful in their choice, then poised upon the gale my form shall ride, or darkened mist descend the mountain side, or may my shade behold no sculptured urns, to mark the spot where earth to earth returns. No lengthened scroll, no praise encumbered stone, epitaph shall be my name alone. If that with honour fail to crown my clay, or may not other fame my deeds repay, but only that shall single out the spot, by that remembered or by that forgot. When we two parted, George Gordon Byron. When we two parted in silence and tears, half broken hearted as ever for years, pale grew thy cheek and cold, colder thy kiss, truly that hour foretold sorrow to his. The dew of the morning sank chill on my brow, it felt like the warning of what I feel now. The vows are all broken, and light is my fame, the other name spoken and share in its shame. Thy name be before me, and kneel to mine ear, a shudder comes o'er me, a word was so dear. When now not I knew thee, who knew thee so well, long, long I shall rue thee, too deeply to tell. In secret we met, in silence I grieve, and my heart could forget, the spirit perceive, if I should meet thee after long years, how should I greet thee, with silence and tears. Written shortly after the Marriage of Miss Chaworth, by George Gordon Byron. Hills of ants lay bleak and barren, where my thoughtless childhood strayed, of an northern tempest worrying how the bow fight after shade. Now no more the hours beguiling from my favourite haunts I see, now no more my Mary smiling makes it seem a heaven to me.